Boom Shikha here. I am so excited to be presenting to you day 2 of the 7 days of learning. Yesterday I spoke about the book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and you can find that video on my Facebook page and in the Facebook group The Millionaire Hippie. Today we'll be speaking about the book called The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. Now this is an amazing book as well, as are all the different books I'll be chatting about. This book specifically talks about how we build habits and how we can change habits if we want to. So one of the main things that he speaks about, that he says that habits are comprised of 3 different steps. So first of all, the step that you take is you see the cue. So for example, if you go to McDonald's every single day after work, your cue would be the M, the sign of McDonald's. You'll see the McDonald's sign, and then the next step of the habit would be you do the habit, which is you go grab a burger or fries from McDonald's or both, and that's the habit. The cue is followed by the habit, and you get a reward, which is the 3rd step. You get a reward for doing the habit, and for McDonald's it would be the delicious food, the sugar hitting your brain, the salt, the smells, everything. All of it is comprised of rewarding. So those are the 3 steps: the cue, the habit, and the reward. So Charles in the book says that if you want to change any habit, what you need to do is you need to keep the cue and the reward the same. Because if you try to change the cue or the reward, it's not actually going to work. So what we need to do is that we need to change the habit itself by keeping the cue and the reward the same, but actually changing the habit itself. So for example, the cue in the McDonald's example would still be the M. You'd see the McDonald's sign, but your habit would change. You wouldn't stop at the McDonald's. You wouldn't grab that burger or fries or whatever it might be. You might go home to cook, or you might grab something a little bit more healthy, or you go to a grocery store, and then the reward would still be the same. You still get the pleasure of eating delicious food, maybe not as salty or as sugary as the food at McDonald's might be, but you still are getting the same reward. So cue, habit, and reward. So what he says is that most of our habits are unconscious. And that makes absolute sense. A lot of the things that we do on a daily basis are absolutely unconscious. They're based on automatic habits. We don't even think about it anymore. You get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you pick up the toothbrush, you brush your teeth, you go to work, you do the same habits over and over again. And I see this really in 9-to-5ers, people who work in the same kind of routine job every single day. They'll do the same Sudoku puzzle every morning. They'll take the same train every morning. They'll be surrounded by the same kind of people in the buses or the trains that they take. They sit by the same colleagues every day. They have the same conversations every day. They eat the same foods. They go to the same food court. It's all of the same. So the habits are ingrained in us. They're all automatic. We don't even think about it anymore. If you want to change a habit, you need to kind of make it unautomatic. You want to make sure that you become conscious that you're actually doing these habits. Especially if it's a bad habit. A lot of times our bad habits are so ingrained in us we don't even think about it. An example of it would be going back home every day, and instead of going to the gym, we sit down on the couch and we watch Netflix for 3 or 4 hours before we go to sleep. And while we're watching Netflix, because we want something to munch on, we munch on chips, or we eat a tub of ice cream. And it's all automatic. You're just putting stuff in your mouth while you're watching TV. Everything becomes an automatic habit. We're unconsciously doing these things on a daily basis. The reason we do that, it's not something that's a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. What the brain is trying to do is that it's trying to create a situation where it's using least effort. The brain is always trying to create a situation where it's using least effort. The brain doesn't want to use too much effort because it takes effort to think, it takes effort to do all of these things. There's so much input going into your mind, into your brain, that it tries to modify things, makes it simpler. And so habits make our life simpler. We don't have to think about things anymore. We can just do the same thing over and over again. And that's actually a good thing. It helps us be more productive. It helps us gain traction in our business. Only if those habits are good. A lot of times the habits that we form aren't good, and that causes us to move backwards rather than forwards. So in order to create good habits, another thing that he says that is really important is that there are certain keystone habits. There's a core habit. These are the habits that form the core of what you're doing. And if you can change these keystone habits, or if you can incorporate these keystone habits into your daily life, you'll be able to bring more prosperity, more success into your life. Why is that? So these keystone habits are good habits that actually kind of bring other habits along with them. They're the popular kids in school. You know, if there's a popular kid in school, all the other kids are going to be surrounding that popular kid. If a popular kid moves, goes sit somewhere in the recess, everyone else follows him, or whatever he does, everyone else follows. The same thing with these keystone habits. They did a study where they had a certain group of people follow their expenses, to write them down and make sure that they didn't spend about a certain amount of money every single day. So, reduce the amount of money they spend and control their spending, control their impulsive spending, all of that. So they did that for 8 weeks. They noticed that these individuals who started doing one good habit, which is a keystone habit of following their expenses and taking care of their impulsive purchases, not buying too much, taking care of how much they spend, being careful with their money, they started eating healthier. They stopped eating junk food. They started exercising more. They started improving their relationship with their family. These keystone habits are amazing because as soon as you have one of these keystone habits in your daily routine, you'll be able to bring more and more great habits into the fold. So some of the keystone habits that I talk about all the time are meditation, exercise, journaling. These are the things that you need to do in order to bring more good habits into your life. When you start running in the morning or exercising in the morning, or you start meditating in the morning as soon as you wake up, or you start journaling, doing yoga, all of these things will ensure that you start the day off at a perfect note. And our brain is such that we want to continue on that good note. We don't want to ruin the streak. We want to keep on going with the good luck. So we get up, we do something great, and then we want to keep on going. So we'll try to walk up the stairs. We'll try to eat healthy at lunch. We'll avoid the cake if there's a birthday going on. We'll actually try to go, walk after work instead of watching Netflix. When we might not purchase something impulsively. Things like that. The keystone habits actually ensure that you keep on doing amazing things throughout the day. And that's the reason I harp on you guys incorporating amazing habits like this early in the morning, every single morning, every day. It'll improve the rest of your life dramatically. So this is what a keystone habit is all about. And the final thing that he speaks about is that habits come in pairs. So good habits come in pairs, bad habits come in pairs. And usually what happens is that a good habit like exercise kind of comes in pair with healthy eating. For some reason, when we start exercising, it becomes really hard, or it seems kind of useless to start eating junk food at the same time. So most of the time when you start exercising, you'll start eating healthy as well. Same thing with meditating. When you start meditating, a lot of times people will start doing yoga as well, or it's the other way around. A lot of people who start doing yoga, they start meditating as well. These are kind of habits that go together, they pair up. And that's the reason I tell you that you guys should start, doing one of these habits daily. And it doesn't really need to be a long period of time. You can do it for 5 minutes in the morning as soon as you wake up. The amount of time doesn't really matter. You can always increase that later, but the consistency is what matters. Habits are all about consistency. A lot of us, what we do is that we start doing something and we'll do it for a week or 2 weeks at a time. We'll be really enthusiastic in the beginning, but then we'll stop. And then we'll, come back to it maybe 3 weeks later, and then we'll stop again. And so we don't actually see any benefit, and eventually we'll say that, oh, this habit is useless, I'm not going to do it anymore, I'm not seeing any results. It's because you weren't consistent with it. You have to be consistent with it. What we do is that we do an hour as soon as we start doing a habit. We'll do 1 or 2 hours every single day, and then we stop. But if we start off doing 5 minutes a day, and we continue doing that for a year, that'll be more beneficial than doing 1 or 2 hours a day in the beginning and never repeating that practice again. So again, this book is actually really, really amazing. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And the cue, reward, and habit, cue, habit, reward, those 3 steps, it's actually really, really interesting because a lot of us don't actually know what our cues are. So if you can figure out what your bad habits are in your life, and you can figure out what cues it, then you can actually change it, right? So think about it. For example, for me, one of my bad habits is that I love junk food. I love to eat chips. One of my favorite things to do when I'm being bad is to grab a big packet of Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips and then just eat the whole packet in one night. I mean, a whole packet. Only the big ones, not the small ones, the family packs I'm talking about. That's one of my habits. What is a cue for it? I know the cues. They're ingrained in me. One of the main cues for my Miss Vicky's habit is when I'm PMSing, when I'm going through my period. I know 7 days before I'm going to hit my period, I'm going to have this craving. So what I started doing is that I just kind of sometimes indulge it. I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to do this once a month. I'm going to have a packet of chips. I just eat it. It's not a big deal. Another one of my cues is when I'm feeling blah about my body, or if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling depressed or lonely or alone, or if I feel like I'm not making enough progress in my business or my life, or if I feel like I am not, if I'm alone or I'm not in a relationship, like things like that. All of those negative emotions, whenever I have those emotions, I know that I'll crave junk food and I'll crave those chips. So my trigger, my cues, I know what my cues are. I know what my habit could be. It could be I could go grab a bag of chips and eat it. The good thing is I never keep them in the house, so I have to go outside, go to Shoppers, go buy a bag of chips and then come back. So in that itself, I don't actually indulge in this habit because it's such a pain to go outside and grab the chips. But instead of doing that, what I've decided, or what I've started doing, is I just go for a walk. It's a beautiful day outside. I live right next to the water. I just go for a walk by the water. By the time I go for the walk and I come back, I feel a billion times better. I feel good about myself. I feel good about my body. I feel good about my business. I feel great in general. And that craving for those chips disappears. The reward is still the same. I still feel great about myself, but in a different way. And so I've changed the habit. I still have the same cue, but the habit is different. So I hope that this helps you guys. Again, the book is called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I totally highly recommend it if you guys are interested. He does a bunch of different studies. It's very scientific. It's really, really interesting. You can grab it on Amazon or from wherever your local bookstore might be. Tomorrow we'll be speaking about the book called Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. She's one of my favorite authors. She has a really popular TED Talk as well about vulnerability. So we'll be speaking about that tomorrow. It's one of my favorite books on emotions and on fear and shame, which is a really big topic for me. So I will be speaking about that tomorrow. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. My name is Shikha, and if you guys are interested, you can join my free Facebook group, The Millionaire Hippie. If not, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow about Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. Bye for now.